Hello, hello, hello. Hey, it's Wally Elibiary. I hope everybody's doing well. Denise, you with us?
I am.
All right, that's awesome. So I think this is the first mortgage coach ever in history that it's been 5 minutes late, and it's my fault. So I apologize to all our listeners out there, and I publicly apologize to you, Denise.
No problem.
Good. Cool. How's your day going?
It's good. Good. It's Texas. The sun's out, and it's warm. It's over 90 degrees, so better than the rain that we've had recently. So all is good.
Cool. Well, it's not kind of our normal weather. I think we had a crazy cold, hot weekend, but we got through it. So I wanted to thank all our callers for joining the call. And on our end, obviously, this is the Mortgage Coach every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Is Mortgage Coach Show, and today we've got Denise Donoghue. So before we kind of jump into Denise, I wanted to kind of talk about a few things about the mortgage experience and moving forward, and to kind of simply share what Mortgage Coach has meant for me. And then obviously on my screen there, I've got a lot of people have gone before us. To me, Mortgage Coach, I personally started using the Edge presentation back in, gosh, I want to say it was like 2003, 2005, and it's in my business. And it helped me differentiate myself in the market where there was hundreds of thousands of other loan officers, and it's really inspired me to give more back to the clients than just what regular mortgage lenders simply kind of do. So, Denise, what's kind of been your experience with Mortgage Coach so far, and how are you kind of introduced to it?
Yeah, well, I got my mortgage license officially in April 2012. So prior to my mortgage career, I was a licensed personal banker. So I had my Series 6 and 63 where I'd help clients with investment planning, retirement planning, things like that. And so when I moved into the mortgage space, I've always kind of had that mind and that brain of finance and the time value of money and things like that. And I always felt there was a lacking in our industry on how to educate our consumers financially, because quite frankly, as a mortgage banker, we see the good, bad, and the ugly. As a financial advisor, someone might be reluctant to give you all of their asset statements and maybe not tell you all of their debts. It's not like a financial advisor pulls their credit and really sees if what they're saying is true. But the neat thing about being a mortgage banker is you really do get to see them naked, is what I call it. We see their debts. We get all their asset accounts. We get their bank statements and tax returns, so we actually see that their income is what they say it is and what tax bracket they're in. So Mortgage Coach gives me the ability to quickly put the scenarios into the system, and then not only is speed important in our industry, but visually being able to articulate the savings and the time value of money and their liquidity position easily, because it can be very overwhelming. And so for me, Mortgage Coach is just, I don't know how I ever functioned without it. So it has just, it's like you said, it's my value proposition. I mean, it is 100% what I use in every realtor conversation when I'm meeting a new agent and every client to articulate, here's how I'm different.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think when you say that, it gives me goosebumps, because it's definitely very inspiring. And if there were more mortgage professionals like you, we can definitely transcend the industry with Mortgage Coach. So absolutely kudos to you for doing that. It was funny when Dave helped me put together these slides, and it was I didn't even know it, but he put me as in the 1,000 club, and I was curious what that was, and I didn't even know there was a 1,000 club. And he goes, well, you've done over 1,000 Mortgage Edge presentations, and it's funny. I'm very proud of that number, but also in the mindset of I wanted another zero in that, just because there's so many people out there that we can impact, and I think I've been in the business maybe a couple days longer than you have with your trajectory and everything you're doing, Denise. That you'll easily be in the 10,000 club here very soon. So keep up the great work there.
Thank you.
You bet. So tosses my numbers up on the screen there. I think it was roughly a little bit about 80 million last year, about 328 families I was able to help. And as we kind of go along and we talk through these, the biggest thing I want to say is, Dave asked me something that I just answered the question back in January when he interviewed me, and it was, what is the number of mortgage edge presentations that you do? And I said it's at the absolute team standard. So talk to me a little bit about that when you, as we toss up, your direction in your business is what's the percentage of people in your world families that receive a mortgage edge presentation?
I would like to be honest and say every single one. I struggled with the handoffs because as I've been, started the business in 2012, when you're going from a single loan officer and then you grow to adding that first assistant, which is my transaction coordinator, and then you add that third, which is my sales production assistant, it's vital that every single client sees this. And what I struggled with, particularly last year, is how to prepare these mortgage edge presentations, really let go of that control and that teaching them that they can do it and prepare it for me so that every client can see it. So just to be very transparent and honest, last year I really struggled with it. I would say it was probably down 50%, and you can tell in my numbers. And the last quarter of last year, that's kind of where business slows down. And so you're able to really work on your business. And that's one of the things that me and my team said was, it's so important to me. It's kind of my, I call myself the mortgage nerd. I am a finance nerd by heart. And so it was really bothering me that we were doing a disservice. And actually I was binge watching one weekend when I was sick, a bunch of the mortgage coach interviews, and I saw a bunch of your interviews where you were telling people you are doing an absolute disservice to your clients. Like it's just unacceptable to not deliver it. And so I had to slow down. I had to figure out how to put it in my process so that it was streamlined and it was easy. And now every single client, not only do they get the mortgage edge presentation, but they actually get it at minimum 3 times throughout the process. We have a kind of beginning stage. Yeah, we have a beginning stage when they get pre-qualified. Sometimes you have clients that are teetering, with the FHA versus conventional, or maybe an ARM versus a regular 30-year fixed, or no cost, premium pricing, or with cost. So we try to hit them 3 different times, but because the Mortgage Edge software system is so easy to use and so easy just to kind of copy your previous scenario, now there's literally no excuse that if they don't get 1 Mortgage Edge, let alone 3, then we're in trouble. So it's an absolute now.
That's awesome. I mean, when you say you've got 3, that tells me that A, I feel like a slacker, but then B, it's pretty neat to see somebody that as talented as you take something that has been an industry disruptor in mortgage coach, and then you've integrated it within your world, and before you know it, it's just like woven itself in your business, and it's been a great asset. And I talked to Dave last week. He asked me to put together this video, which actually I've got it up on the screen right now, about how to make a mortgage coach video using this iPhone. And it was pretty cool. I'm not sure if you've seen it or not, but after doing it, it was, I just get on the screen, I just start yip-yapping. But if you actually break it down, there's a model that I follow. And it's just right on YouTube, but also for a mortgage coach, kind of walk us through, like, obviously everybody can go out there on YouTube and see my screen, my how-to video, but walk us through yours. So how do you make your mortgage edge video?
So I do it very similar to yours. I actually did watch your video, and I know you use the selfie stick. I remember when you first talked about it months ago, your team, I think, bought you that selfie stick, and I laughed because it's, other people use it as a toy, and we use it as a tool, and that's kind of my whole philosophy in business, and even with social media, which I know we'll get to, is there's neat creations that you can use as not toys. But I essentially do the same thing, and honestly, when Mortgage Coach allowed us the ability to record right from your phone, that really eliminates any kind of excuse, because it's just so darn easy now. What I do is I've got a little stand that I bought on Amazon. It was like $4, and it just holds your iPhone up. You always want to hold it horizontally when you're recording a video. And then rather than the selfie stick, I've got a handheld, it's called a shutter. I also bought it on Amazon. And it's just something you hold in your hand. It works for video and it works for pictures. So you can actually put the phone anywhere you want, click the button, and then it immediately starts recording. So that way, you know, the biggest fear, the biggest objection I hear mortgage bankers say is they don't like how they look on camera, you know. But with the video, it just takes your mortgage edge and your client experience to a whole nother level, because it's now personalized and they can follow along with you. And so whether you're using a selfie stick, whether you are propping it up on your printer and, you know, still pushing the red button, whatever method works, I would say absolutely incorporate the video, because it's just too easy not to. Takes 2 minutes. You know, I've seen a lot of the mortgage community and everyone that's been on you know, been part of this, where they're always thanking the client, and you know, they reference the real estate agent. Absolutely follow all of those techniques. But whether it's 2 minutes or 5 minutes, I like the model of explaining and walking them through the presentation. I know last week's interviews with the two guys, one of them just kind of gives them a 2-minute take a look and then call me, and I think Jeremy said that he just explains it all right then and there. I actually follow Jeremy's approach and I explain it all right then and there, but I use the handheld device. So I just put my phone up, I click the button, I record it, I send it out, and I just get such good feedback every time there's a video with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So did you get a chance to listen to the best practice scripts from last week?
Yeah, with Danny and Jeremy. It's always great to listen to, but yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, Danny and Jeremy are amazing, but Tim Brahim might have been before your time, but he was absolutely a stud. I remember growing up in the business and listening to him, and you know, I put together like 3 huge takeaways, and you know, my eyes is like when they said, you know, who's your audience? What do you want them to know? How do you want them to know it? You know, it reminds me of, I got a chance to meet Simon Sinek once, and I think I hope we've all read his book, Start With Why. And at the end of the day, it's, you know, if you know your audience, you know what they want and how they want it, you can continuously provide them a level of service and a level of intelligence that no interest rate or fees from anybody else can ever touch. So what do you kind of see in your world, Denise, about, you know, what your audience wants or how they want it, or, you know, what they want from you?
Yeah. You know, I think there's different stages throughout the transaction, and so in the first stage of them getting pre-qualified, really that handoff from your real estate agent. Your real estate agent sells you on, you know, they're the best however you've taught them, hopefully, you know, but they're the best in town. They're going to get you to the finish line. You need to call Denise. She's great. But I know that the top 2 burning things that they have in their mind at their time is usually lowest rate, lowest cost. You know, they expect us to have a good transaction. They don't think that they're going to be the ones that have the U-Haul van and sitting outside of closing and not closing on time. You know, they expect all of that to go well. So at the beginning, when they're, I feel like, top of mind of rates and costs, being able to articulate that you're not just a loan officer, but you're a certified mortgage, you're what Dan Keller says, a mortgage advisor. And I've put together tools and systems that will allow us to not only find you the best loan strategy for you and your family, but we're also going to look at things like your liquidity position and the time value of your money today versus 5 years from now. And one of the things that I actually stole and swiped from you, Wally, is widening your equity gap, because ultimately every year when we analyze your loan on your home anniversary is what I call it, My job is to help you with your strategy to widen your equity position as large as possible. And so just by saying some of those terms, I use the time value of money and the liquidity position, because those are not terms that our competitors are using. So when they hear that, they're already knowing, okay, we're not just looking at rate and cost. I feel good because I feel like I'm with a professional. I've articulated a little bit how the process goes. And then when you nail them with the Mortgage Edge presentation, I mean, nobody has the technology like this to quickly articulate a total cost analysis.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So one of my favorite questions that they also said was, I say this all the time, so tell me, what can I do to help? And I love it when Tim said afterwards, you just shut up. You stop talking. So what can I do to help? And I love this other one that they put in, said, so tell me, what are some of your goals? And again, you just got to be quiet. A lot of times, clients and referral partners will tell you so much of everything you want and hand it to you on a silver platter if you just stop talking and let them speak. I mean, do you ever run into that?
Oh yeah, I mean, especially on that. I love that just how can I help you question. And like you said, just talk. Don't go into all these crazy things, because you'll learn maybe they don't care at all about rates and costs. Quite frankly, they're just trying to make sure they can get qualified for a loan. So if you go on a 15-minute, conversation about rates and costs and all this fancy stuff, they may not even care, and you just wasted your 15 minutes and, quite frankly, their 15 minutes. So I love every time my team knows, anytime a client calls in, that's the first thing you ask is, thank you so much for your call. How can I help you today? And you just be quiet.
Yeah, you just absolutely. And it's also pretty in my last third and final major takeaway that I got from my call is definitely knowing your numbers. I think when Tim was asking, I think it was Danny or Jeremy, I think it was Jeremy, 82% conversion rate to application ratio. I thought that was awesome. And when he said that, from there, what if you're able to tighten up your systems and models? What would 92% look like? And when he mentioned the comment of, man, that's a totally different income tax bracket, I'm like, wow, that's pretty neat, because I think that's where a lot of areas I could grow. It's like I know the feeling of I know I can probably count on one hand in the last 30 days how many clients chose to go someone else over me. So meaning I didn't get the opportunity to get a chance to work on. I count on one hand, but it's like, are my numbers really that good? And if I think when I would take away from that call, I had a team meeting afterwards, and it was looking at actually breaking everything down and tracking it. I mean, you being the mortgage nerd, I mean, how closely do you track your numbers?
I track it really aggressively. I mean, that's kind of my thing. I went to school for business econometrics, and so I am a spreadsheet numbers nerd. If you look at the desktop on my cell phone right now, it'll tell you my numbers from last year and my year-to-date numbers this year, along with the total number of leads broken down by month and my top referring partners. So that every time I'm looking at my phone, this is how nerdy I am, I want to see that. Right now I'm a little bit less trending than where I was last year, so I get to see that red number every single day, and it hacks me off. On the flip side, I get to see the number of leads. I think it's really, really important, and I think not enough mortgage bankers dissect the data, because we spend so much time, energy, and effort into getting a lead and almost chasing that lead, but when we're not happy with our funding numbers, we think, oh, I just got to go out and get more business. When I love what Tim said last week, where it's so much about the scripts and presentation and communication. If you knew your numbers, maybe you don't need more leads. Maybe you just need to convert more of the ones you already have. And so really kind of dissecting your numbers and knowing your data, that's really where I think you can transform your business, or at least be in the know, because it works on the same side. If you've got a real estate agent that is sending you hundreds of leads, but you're only closing, 2 to 5%, it's probably an agent that's wasting your time, or at least worth the effort of Where are these leads coming from? Are they quality leads? Is he just doing a bunch of Facebook ads or Zillow ads? And so you feel like you're busy and you feel like he's your number one guy because you're getting so much business, but the reality is they're not funding. And so it's either you and your conversion, or knowing your data knows that's not an agent that I need to spend time with.
Yep. So, and that's brilliant, and especially very, very wise business philosophy. Unfortunately, some people just chase leads, and at the end of the day, we don't get paid to just chase leads. So, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about, the knowing you personally, knowing you professionally, knowing how much your business has skyrocketed and grown. You kind of being in the business. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on these numbers. You've been helping families on the loan origination side for how many years now?
Well, I was doing refi business I started in 2010 at Chase, and all we did was refi, HARP loans. So I wasn't, I don't call that originating, because we were just, you didn't even need income docs, or you literally could just rewrite a loan. And then, if you guys remember, in 2010 and 2012, I think the 30-year fixed rate was like 3%. So I could literally throw a dart at the phone book within my banking center and call anybody, because it was historic lows. Nobody had an interest rate that low. So it was just as many that you could churn out, you could close. But I started my purchase career, my purchase business, and got licensed April of 2012.
April 2012. So, a little over 4 years, and to see how much your career has gone, and how blessed you are financially now in your business, how big of a team you've grown. What do you kind of feel your biggest competitive edge is?
I would say it's first and foremost my certified mortgage planning edge. I think the client really cares about trusting their finances with the right person. And I think second to that would be my social media presence. I'm kind of like Dan Keller, where I view social media as an extension of your database. And fortunately, in 2012, I learned at the beginning of my career how important it is to not only maintain a database of clients, but have those clients identified as either your A players or B players or C players. And so all of us kind of have the database of past clients, and then we've got, usually our number one referral source is realtors, and then of course we've got the CPAs and attorneys and kind of those other pillars, but real estate agents usually is the biggest bucket of referral sources. So I try to divide those and pay attention to my audience in the way of always being top of mind. It's kind of what marketing is all about, is being top of mind. In the old days, it was a lot harder. You had to spend a lot more money. You had to do direct mailers and things like that. So in an era where our industry, I think the average age of a real estate agent is 54 in DFW, and so they're thirsty for social media and how to monetize social media within their own business to stay top of mind with their own clients and people they're farming. So with my knowledge and my social media skills, I guess you could say, it's easy for me to go and meet with them and say, okay, here's how you can, increase your business 10% by just getting really purposeful and intentional with social media.
All right. If you move forward, you've got the next Denise Donoghue listening to this call, okay? And he, or I guess she, would want to learn the two major special things that you kind of mentioned of the social media aspect of it, but then the CPA, I'm sorry, not CPA, but the certified mortgage planner aspect of it. What books would you think that they could learn from to help build their business? Because is this knowledge you just kind of acquired over the years, or is this knowledge that you've gone to seminars and learned? Like, how can they be educated and get on your level?
I am like a YouTube junkie, but fortunately, I went to school and majored in econometrics, and that my entire schooling was all about, if you want to increase a corporation's bottom line by X amount, and then how much capital and how much people and how much more sales do you need. So, and then I became a licensed personal banker and got my Series 6 and 63. So some of it is because of just my professional education, so to speak. But in all honesty, there's so much information on YouTube, and especially within the mortgage coach community. I mean, I would just go to the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel, and if you're struggling with how do interest rates work, if you as a mortgage banker are not familiar with how interest rates work, why they go up and down, what 3 economic factors causes the rates to move and jump so much, then you just got to YouTube what causes interest rates to move, or go to the Mortgage Coach community and look for videos around rates, and watch Dan Keller. Dan Keller does a great job explaining stuff like that. So there's so many people in our industry. I've learned a lot from all of you guys. I've learned a lot with Todd Duncan's coachings. So I would say start, if you're starting out, obviously budget is something that's top of mind. When I was in April 2012, I was eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day for lunch. And so your budget when you're starting out is real. So I would say start with the tools that we're fortunate to have in 2016, like YouTube, and learn from these awesome mentors in our community, because there's just so much education for free right now on the internet.
So what is the last time you went to YouTube? What did you type in the search screen for you to what videos is the mortgage nerd watching today to educate herself to empower her business for tomorrow?
Well, I every morning when I get ready, I love to either watch Tom Ferry's show, because he's fun and entertaining to watch, but he's always giving you something about real estate agents, and I always like to be a partner to my agents. So I love to watch Tom Ferry in the morning, and of course Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a marketing entrepreneur, fun to watch. If you don't like listening to a bunch of curse words, then you probably don't want to watch him. But he's real, and he's honest, and he's just got great ideas. And so some of it's outside the mortgage community, which I like. I think we can learn from other industries, especially when our mortgage industry can be a little outdated. I always want to try to create the most modern mortgage experience to a client possible. So it's just fun to see who Gary Vee is interviewing, or on his Gary Vee show, what they're talking about and how he overcomes objections, and so those are kind of my 2 favorite. But I'll be honest, Mortgage Coach is like my number 3. If I feel like I'm in a rut, or if I'm just getting hammered on certain things, like right now is appraisals, I like to go to the Mortgage Coach community because I always learn from somebody that he's interviewing. Like the Scripps call last week, I just feel inspired, and that I can do even better.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's I was lucky enough to meet Gary Vaynerchuk at an event in Maryland about 2 months ago, and get to see him on stage speaking, and then backstage, spent about 15 minutes talking with him, and it's somebody that he's just so much energy, just like Mike Ferry is, but he's just so ridiculously real, and I admire someone that's just brave enough to be themselves. So I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, cool. Well, hey, on the screen, I've got one of your total cost analysis up. Kind of walk us through it to say, why don't we just kind of go through this? I think Williams is his client's last name. Why don't we just kind of go to say, I'm Mr. Williams, and you're making me a video, So, or you're on the phone together reviewing it. So just totally just non-rehearsed, just kind of give me what would you talk to me about this? What jumps out at you?
I'm pulling it up on my Mortgage Coach because I can only see half the screen, so just bear with me one sec. I can see the summary side, and that's it. But from what I remember of Mr. Williams, he's buying new construction. So when I say I've got 3 different phases, this would be phase 2. This would be they've already passed through the pre-qualification, and that's the hopes and dreams call. That's where I'm trying to figure out what is it? Why are you selling? Why are you looking to move? I always look at their date of birth to figure out how old they are, what stage of life are they in. So this particular client is in the stage of life where he's nearing retirement. and he's self-employed. So it's important to know in that pre-qualification call, that's where you're doing what I call the suitability call. How much do they have in retirement? What's kind of their retirement strategy? How does this home fit in there? So long story short, what we were looking at is he was purchasing a house around $390,000. He knew that he wanted to put a certain amount down. He just wasn't sure on if he wanted a 20-year or a 15-year. You know, he wasn't really sure what boat he wanted to choose. So when you gather those nuggets of information on the first call, if somebody's entering retirement stage, they're self-employed, unfortunately they don't have any kind of pension, you know, so the only thing that they have to rely on during their retirement is the blood, sweat, and tears of the money or income they produced and saved through their life of being self-employed. So with that, I thought it was important to review the option that he asked for, which was the 15-year option, which of course gives them the highest monthly payment. And in retirement, you know, it's expensive. You have healthcare costs and prescriptions and you know, just the cost of living. If you intend to retire at 65, if you live till 95, well, that's 30 years of living. And so even though he asked for the 15-year, I showed him the 15-year. That's that fourth option there. But the first option was the 30-year, and it shows, of course, the lowest monthly payment. And then when you look at the two charts of the savings over my short term, I do 84 months, and then the interest paid in those 7 years. The reason why both of those say 7 years is because he was interested in paying off the mortgage in that time frame. He knew that this was going to be a short-term loan and that he was going to pay it off, was what his mindset was, until we talked about the time value of money. And by doing that, now your tangible cash won't be growing on a conservative rate of return. Let's say his retirement account, I think, was earning 3.3%, which is not fantastic, but hey, it's better than savings rate. So I showed him in a later presentation, which we don't see here, the reinvestment of, rather than taking this massive amount of cash, $300,000, and paying it off, what that snowball looks like through retirement and how that helps your liquidity position to have that money growing every single month versus paying off a mortgage, you know, where you're getting tax deductions and things like that. Yeah. So it was a in process. You know, this was the first set that you see here, but it gave me the opportunity to go into detail about, you know, here's why, being in this stage of your life, we might want to look at this differently and use an alternative strategy.
So it's neat how you took a client's, what they're, you know, it's crazy. I don't know, I'll probably be in the same boat one day, but when people go to retirement, they're really scared. They're really scared that they've worked so hard towards something and in retiring one day, but they're just kind of afraid of what that's going to look like. And just the feeling, not feeling a self-worth of feeling like you're providing something daily. However, it's pretty neat to see how you've taken someone's fear and provided them a roadmap so they can feel self-assured and know that at the 7-year window, they'll have everything completely wrapped up and have their house paid off. So.
Yeah, and you know, you just created a client, not only a client for life, but what's most fun about being in a position like this is that it's a generational change, because you have to imagine the mindset of a 65-year-old. His parents and grandparents were told to pay off their mortgage, you know, pay it off as quick as possible, as soon as possible. That's just how their mindset was wired back then. So it's a delicate conversation. You have to always present what they want, but it's our job to advise them on other loan strategies that might be, you know, better for their particular situation. So it's all about in how you deliver it, but Mortgage Edge just makes it so easy because we can visually be looking at the screen together, and he can now visually see this is numbers. You know, it's an exact science. If you do this, this is what you will save in the course of 7 years or 15 years or however long. You know, that's what I love about it, is it's a science. There's no gray area.
It's models and systems. So I love that. Now, how I saw a picture that I had of about you at a coffee shop, I believe it was, with the mobile app. How much of this do you do like on your computer at the office, and how much do you do this like on the on iPad or iPhone, or like how does your world look like when you present it?
Well, I actually don't have an iPad. I should probably have one, but we all carry our cell phones around everywhere. But anytime I am meeting a client, I will always still print out a colored copy of my presentation and a folder for my leave behind. So when I met these two clients at the coffee shop, I'm showing them their presentation and walking them through it on my cell phone, so that we can pull up the different charts and you can click the button so that you can really dissect the short-term savings rather than just looking at the charts. And then when I tell them that they're going to be getting an email where they can actually click a link where they can view this at any time, it like blows their mind, because it's so important that we teach them how to maneuver within Mortgage Edge, which is why I always will show them on my phone versus just pulling out the colored copy printout, because I want them to see what every feature and every chart and clicking the more info can actually provide them. So I found when I do that with them, whether it's in my office or on the phone, they become more comfortable, so that when they get my links throughout the process, they're already comfortable because they've seen it and they know how to use it. And I tell everybody up front, go ahead and download the app. It's called Mortgage Edge. That's how we're going to be communicating the different loan strategies and total cost analysis throughout this transaction and even after the transaction on your home anniversary. Yeah. So it's almost a must that I try to meet every client face-to-face in Dallas. It's a busy city, so you don't always get that luxury. But at the closing table, I 100% pull out my cell phone every single time, not only for the client to see, but for the agent to see, again, my value proposition to their clients.
Yeah. So tell me about this little leave behind. Just a second ago, you talked about a leave behind. What is that? And what does that kind of look like? That's new to me.
A leave behind is any time I have a client that I meet, or even if I don't get the chance to meet them, when they've been pre-qualified, I will mail out a custom folder. It's got my information on it. It's got a colored copy of their mortgage total cost analysis. It's got an introduction to me and the team and kind of the do's and don'ts and the next steps of this fun process of shopping for a home. And a leave behind, actually I was listening to, I believe it was a Tom Ferry video a few months ago. He ran statistics on agents that when you go do a listing presentation, the conversion between the clients who actually, or the agents who left something that could sit on their coffee table versus the agents that didn't leave anything, the conversion rates with the individual who actually gave them something to review at a later time, which he coined as a leave behind, was astronomically higher. It went from like 40-something% to 80-something%. So it doubled their conversion just because they had something tangible to review. So I've incorporated that at this stage with at the pre-qual. And then when I go to a closing, I have a custom closing packet where it has a picture of their home and it says, welcome home, and it's got 123 Main Street, the address. And then right behind that first page, they've got their certified mortgage plan. And this is where I customize my Mortgage Edge presentation so that every single page I have in this binder, it's going to show their current loan scenario of the loan that we just closed. And then it's going to show a biweekly payment schedule. And then the last column is the Nerd Wealth Tip, which is basically the reinvestment of the tax savings that you get. If you take those tax savings and reinvest it to your principal of your mortgage, then what that does to your overall net worth. So then behind there, I've got their first payment letter and a copy of their closing disclosure so that when they do their taxes next year, they've got, an easy way to just pull that out. But I want them to know that I am what I say I am, where we're going to review your plan every single year on your home anniversary. And I do that through Mortgage Edge, but that's my second, I guess you could say, leave behind is my closing packet that I give to them at the table.
That's awesome. Absolutely. Kudos to you. You should be very proud of yourself. That's something that definitely separates you apart. And at closing, I'm uber confident that your clients really appreciate that.
Yeah, it shows even when the deal's done, I'm still putting in the work to show you financially how you can, prepare yourself to be in a better financial situation 5 to 10 years from now. The work's not done just because we're sitting at the closing table. And the real estate agents love it because if they haven't clicked on any of the links, and if you're not copying your real estate agent on the emails that you're sending to your clients, or you haven't gone over this with them, I would just encourage everybody to do that immediately. Leverage this webinar and call your agents this week, next week, and say, I really want to show you my total cost analysis that every single client's going to see, because this really makes your agent feel comfortable in referring you, because you are an extension to their brand. And so, like we've all said, no other loan officers are presenting in this kind of way, so it's just important to share with them.
Well, I think you're doing a great job, especially with social media and presenting some of this on social media. And so talking a little bit about that. So really talking about your two secret weapons is your certified mortgage planner previous world, and you brought that in the mortgage world, and you talked a little bit about social media. So a lot of people, at least in my opinion, I look at you as a great loan officer, a great presenter, but also somebody that knows how to market themselves very well. So what model do you follow? How have you built that? Like, obviously you're a very strategic, purposeful person, but so how have you kind of built your social media presence?
Yeah, so I follow the being very authentic, but I'll tell you, Facebook is my primary. YouTube's probably my second. Instagram and Twitter are all very, very important. But if you're listening to this and you're not currently posting business material on Facebook or any other social media platform, I would advise you just to at least baby step and start with Facebook. But my personal opinion is, like I said earlier, you can use social media as a toy, or you can use it as a tool. And I have a personal page, a business page, but my personal page is strategically a tool for me personally. You're not ever going to see anything of me, with a drink in my hand or in a bikini, or I don't post that kind of stuff on my Facebook. It's going to be strategic around my audience and what I want them to know. So if you're thinking to yourself, you're a loan officer now and you know that you need to start using social media, but you don't know how because all of your friends are on Facebook and you don't want to annoy them with a bunch of mortgage stuff, because let's be honest, the mortgage world isn't very entertaining. I would say sprinkle a little bit of it all. If you were to go to a cocktail party, I think Gary Vaynerchuk talked about this in his Jab, 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 Right, Hook book. Yeah. You don't just always want to be talking about business, and you're not going to go to a cocktail party and just be like, so what's your current mortgage rate these days? You have to still have a personal presence and be in the authentic you. So I try to mix it up. I don't have a specific schedule. Now it just kind of, anything that I want to share that I think would be beneficial for my friends, family, colleagues, real estate agents to see, then I post it. So lately, and I would advise you, every mortgage company, we all know with the CFPB, some mortgage companies are more strict than others on what you can post on social media. So I just put that disclaimer out there that, you always want to check with your compliance department. But I'm very vague. I don't put the client's name. I don't put any personal information. But what I show them is especially the net worth chart. That's a really fun chart. The net worth chart and the short-term savings charts are really fun charts to post periodically on Facebook, highlighting the fact that I just helped this client increase their net worth by $68,000. Anybody that is totally not interested in any kind of finance or may not even be in the mortgage market, when they see that, everybody wants to save money. Everybody wants to work with professionals that can at least guide them into making a good decision on a loan. So I would encourage to take some of these screenshots of your charts and just post it. Even if you say, every Tuesday morning, I'm going to do a post about business. Maybe you're sharing an email where a client reacted to, I think you just had one up on the screen, thank you so much for everything that you did. Your process is so innovative and I love it. That's rare that you get that kind of feedback when we're in the mortgage industry. So that's something that I want to share with my clients, because if other real estate agents are getting feedback from their clients that they hated the mortgage process, but they see a third-party testimonial that the process was extremely innovative, the videos that are so helpful, that's different, and different stands out in today's day and age. So even the Rate Watch app that we have, through Mortgage Coach, that's a great one to post. It shows that you're watching the market. Nobody outside of our industry probably knows how the heck to read that chart, but it positions you to be an expert in your field. So you've got to leverage it. Friends and family are the easiest people to do loans for, but if you're not talking about it, then they might not use you. And so leverage this. This is really cool stuff, and it's the testimonials that you get from it. Share it. We're becoming such a testimonial world right now, where you can't just always say you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. They don't believe you. So share the feedback that you're getting.
So in your world, so I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute, because I think you can really help impact a lot of people that are just afraid, that just maybe need to get over themselves. A lot of loan officers I hear back say, Wally or even Denise, you've got a great presence on social media. I just don't want to feel like I'm bothering my friends. I don't want to post something on there because it's going to look fake, or I just Facebook's just me as my friends. Like, so what advice would you give people that are just afraid of either upsetting some of their friends because they're going to post some business content on there, or they're afraid to do a video because their hair is not perfect, or I got a double chin, or whatever the case? Like, how do you get out of the starting gates and build that?
Well, it's like Dan Keller says, you just got to get over it. The reality is that there is that fear. It is real, and fear is one of the driving forces as to why we don't get out of a comfort zone, or why we don't become one of the greats. Is fear. It holds you back. So I would tell you practice makes perfect, and I would tell you just get out of your comfort zone. There are many videos that I've done with my hair pulled back in a ponytail, my sunglasses on in the car. Maybe I just got done working out, but it's something so valuable that's top of my mind that I want to share. And I would say that I don't think you would ever annoy a friend or a family member when you're talking to them about interest rates just dropped, or I just helped this client increase their net worth by $20,000. They're interested. So I would say content matters, but unless you want to be a secret loan officer and you don't want anybody to know that you're a loan officer, which is not very productive, you got to get out there, because marketing at the end of the day is being where the eyeballs are. It's being top of mind. And in the world we live in today, it's social media. It's the easiest, cheapest way to be in front of the eyeballs. The average person, this is crazy, the average person spends 4 hours a day on Facebook. I don't even know how that's physically possible, but that's where the eyeballs are. So if you're not sharing your craft and your passion about helping people, that's all it really is. When I see posts of you with the families that you've helped, or with teams that you're leading to becoming entrepreneurs themselves, like that is not, it's your passion. So I'd say just start. Just turn that video on, write that post. You're starting out, pick a day and just say, this day, every day, I'm going to make one post about my business. And just start there. And then little by little it gets a little bit more comfortable, and just keep moving forward on that momentum. The compound effect of those daily efforts will pay off and make you known.
That reminds me of a Zig Ziglar quote. I think he said that you don't have to start to be great, but you don't have to be start to be great. I'm sorry, you don't have to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. It took 3 times to remember it. You don't have to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. And that's something that is, so watching your videos, I gave myself a challenge. I'm sitting looking at it. I'm feeling like an old fart and watching you young millennials, do those videos. And so I came to my team last week. I said, listen, all right, here's my credit card. We need to go buy a camera, lighting, microphone, and we're going to do 100 videos in the next 100 days. And,
that's awesome.
And they go, hey, well, we can't post them all. I'm like, I'm not asking to post them all. I'm asking, say, okay, what's the weakest part of my game? Okay. Some of it's, how can we make the weakest part of my game my strongest part of my game? And we recorded, I want to say it was 17 videos yesterday. Or I'm sorry, it was 11 videos yesterday. And by the end of the videos, I'm like, okay, I figured out my model. I'm going to do this, 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 and I'm going to do this. And before you know it, you kind of get in this routine, and you kind of get in this pattern. And it's when you break it down step by step, it's a lot easier to do.
Yeah, absolutely. My first Todd Duncan boot camp that I went to, he talks about the power of one-timing. I think he actually referenced Linda Davidson with it, but that's kind of what intrigued me with the videos. YouTube is a social media platform that's not talked about enough. And if you pull up my YouTube channel, which I actually bought a domain name to point to it, which I would encourage everybody to do so that you don't have one big long web address, but you can go to www.mortgagenerd.tv. It automatically goes to my YouTube channel, and it has every question under the sun that all of us mortgage bankers answer 50 times a day. How does the rate market work? What is the debt-to-income ratio? What types of documents does an underwriter need? What are the main 4 types of loan programs? But those are 2-minute videos. Just record, just like what Wally did. He went out and bought fancy stuff. I actually still use just my iPhone and my shutter. I put my nerd glasses on, but I just quickly, in 2 minutes or less, just take the top 10 questions that we get asked all the time, record them. You can upload them right from your phone to your YouTube channel. And then if you're with a client and you can't speak to that person, or it's the weekend and you're at your son's baseball game and someone's asking you about how a construction loan process works, you could say, you know what, I'm so sorry, I'm at my son's baseball game. However, here's a link to my YouTube channel. There's a video that explains this process in complete detail. Take a look at it, write down any questions that you have. Let's talk Monday. And now you probably already answered their question, so.
Yeah, it's you're just leveraging technology, which is great. So, well, we've got a couple minutes left here before our time is over, unfortunately. And as we kind of go through this, it just, reminds me of what you said earlier about education with Mortgage Coach, and the Mortgage Coach videos and the mobile questionnaire and everything on the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel is absolutely amazing. And so kudos to you, Denise, for watching that and helping build your business from that. And we've got the next call coming up next week is with Kelly Zito and also Danny, a referable borrower experience that's coming up on the next call, which is pretty neat because it talks about, I've admired these professionals' business from afar and feel like I've learned so much from them and watching their videos and watching how they've built their business. And at the end of the day, I'm not a big fan. There's new ideas under the sun. Everything that Denise has mentioned earlier, she's learned from my videos. I've learned from mentors. So it's just, Denise has learned from me. Like she just said a second ago, I've learned a lot from Denise. And as mortgage loan officers out there, I just want to make it clear that we all can win from learning from each other. I don't necessarily have to win for Denise to lose, or Denise doesn't have to win for me to lose. And even if you're in the same city, find other loan officers, my friends. Find other loan officers you can be friends with or you can be mentors with, and help them grow the business, and they'll help you grow your business. And I hope that's kind of what we've done here today. So in closing, Denise, anything else you want to share?
No, just get out there and stay nerdy. That's what we all do, right? We're all little finance nerds ourselves. So be nerdy always.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So the biggest thing is, on our end with Mortgage Coach, I just wanted to publicly say thank you, Dave, for everything that you've done for us and helping us with Mortgage Coach and the experience moving forward. So I appreciate everything. Anything else in closing you want to say other than go out there, be nerdy?
Just, I have to say a big thank you to Dave. Honestly, what he gives to our community is awesome. The platform that we have, all these interviews that he does every Tuesday, it's just really cool to be part of a family like it. So thanks to Dave, thanks to you, thanks to everybody that takes their time to listen and contribute. I learned a lot, and hopefully you guys learned a lot today too.
Great. All right. Well, I appreciate your time, Denise. Thank you out there for all our callers. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday at 9 a.m. All right. Thank you.